Learning is part of the process. Got to raise your standards. Got to raise your creativity. I'm Dom Jackson with Day Media, and this is the 7 Day Scoop Show, a weekly show where I document my career decisions that I'm making. You have ventures trying to pursue. I use my ventures and my stories to motivate and teach you. The gauntlet of growth, baby. The gauntlet of growth. Got to evolve. Got to make the changes. Process of getting my van with car keys. It has been a journey as usual. Still out here in Houston, Texas at this time. Working with a couple of different vans out here. This previous week that just passed was in they had like a van swap team-wise, and now Marcos, who's training me out in St. Louis, is actually here. So now me and him working out here in Houston with a store, and definitely been a process out here trying to figure out how to work the store. I think sometimes it's you never want to blame the store. It's always a skill set thing. You just got to figure out how to adjust. And we didn't really figure out how to adjust at the level that we need to, but like it was like new turnover, like the switching of the guards as far as operators, like new people on the team, training people, dealing with the place that like direct store needed one of us to work that before. But a lot of lessons, trying out different tactics to try to get people engaged. Every single, like, even though the words are the same, the pitch is the same, the tone is the same, every store has a little cheat code you gotta like chisel out. And every type of person in that store has a certain amount of like cadence they go to too. Like you have to figure out how to adjust to how it is. To give some examples, like there was a lot of stores that are slower. Like when I was in Louisiana 2 weeks-ish ago, that store was very slow in the sense that like a lot of people didn't always like walk in the store. Now we have a traffic-based business, but the clientele inside was pretty affluent though. So like it was just figuring out how to work that demographic. But with this store is a lot more immigrant heavy in the sense there's a lot more people here with a lot of different accents from different places. So it's not even like, oh, it's just this ethnicity of people. It's like you get a good mix of people that come in that have very strong accents that shop at the store consistently. And that's one of the things that I'm like learning how to deal with now, is that like certain cultures, even because like we're still a face and you're not like picking something off a shelf, there's a level of like, oh, let me negotiate on the price on this that like we don't have because it's like a retail relationship. And conveying the value is like a skill set you have to be able to convey to that person. And to get to that next level, you have to be able to do that at a consistent level. You have to find the song that connects to the most people that will understand what you're doing, and they'll get to the results. But we haven't figured it out yet. How do you do that? That's the next part of figuring it out. So it's like a mix of talking to people who have been in similar locations, seeing what they're doing differently. Then one of the biggest things that we really did like reinforce, and I learned that from that store in Louisiana, and I learned working in Sam's Club, that you really have to maximize, and you have to be intentional with your maximization with every single person you interact with. And with that, I mean that, like, when we're trying to just tell people what we're doing, usually we just tell them like, hey, you're making keys, like, yes or no. But when we have to like be in like our maximize mode, where we have to make every single thing count, because there's less people, we'll ask them. We're telling them we're making keys, and we'll ask them, and they'll be like, oh, I have 2 keys. I'll be like, all right, like, hey, like, do you need a third? Do you have a key for every driver? So we open up new conversations that might help you spot some more things. And because everything we do is a numbers game, even if every single person's like, yo, I got 2 keys for my drivers, one person's like, oh, I got 2 keys, but I got 4 drivers. And that's an opportunity and a conversation that we can kind of bring in. Then it's like, we have to really emphasize in our rehash to actually if they want 1 or 2 keys after they purchase one. So do you want 1 or actually 2? We actually got in the habit of pitching 2 keys in the beginning. So we can get 2 keys for, $480. And there's a few right now like, oh, I don't want 2 keys. But then like some people want 2 keys. Like, yeah, this one's messed up, I'll take 2. So just like that reframe of like, all right, I'm gonna pitch 2 to you instead of 1. And then I can just go back to 1 as like my low sale. in the new strategy that we had came across just being in this store that like I have like in my arsenal now that is huge. So, you know, your failure is just a big teacher. It's the seed of greatness of the future, or whatever you want to put it. But what else? Also, yeah, another thing is that like, okay, once people have gotten the keys, now like, hey, do you know anybody else that needs a key, like a friend, neighbor, or whatever? To get more referrals, because like we don't have like referrals is something that like kind of just happens if they want to do it. But if we're really on top of like the same way a business would be, like if this was digital, like a referral base, or I was doing personal training, like referrals are more top of mind for the business. But like after we make somebody a key, like we should be asking if anybody needs a key and tell them to come see us. Like that has to be like SOP, because that's going to generate us a lot more money. That just becomes the standard practice what we do. So that's the level of thought that's like, yo, we have to make sure we're doing these things all the time, because our whole business is numbers anyway, and eventually the LOAs do play out. Like the numbers do play out, everything hits you the way it needs to. So it's good. It's learning, it's the process. You know, me not having my van yet, but being like in scenarios where I get to watch people watch different operators operate, and then work with operators I worked before, see how they problem solve, to solve the problem for the day. It's been a lot, and it's been great. So, you know, whatever you're feeling, going through right now, you got it. Take it one step at a time and get there day by day.